Member of Parliament Vincent Henry was one of the people critical of the amendment to the Land Acquisition Bill last week.
The acquisition of land for public purposes, Amendment Bill of 2024, if passed, will affect all Guyanese, one way or another. However, from recent actions by the current People's Progressive Party's government, it would be fair to say that one section of the population will be affected unfairly and negatively because they are not friends, families, and favorites of the government.
He said that lands owned by people would be under threat since absolute power would be placed in the hands of the minister.
The minister will declare in his own judgment that one's land is needed for public purposes, and he will also decide the amount of compensation that will be given to the affected Guyanese land and house owners. Mr. Speaker, this amendment before us will allow the minister, who is a political activist, to become a one-man band that decides whose land should be targeted for acquisition and becomes the sole evaluator to decide the amount of compensation that will be paid to the affected person.
He said that the passage of the amendment would be the entrenchment of the policy of one Guyana, in which there is no equity or fair play.
From all indications, the move to fast-track the bill through Parliament is a knee-jerk response by the PPP to Guyanese citizens who are exercising their rights to appeal to the judiciary for justice. It is a move by the PPP's government to avoid fair play by paying some affected persons who are in the path of the construction of the new Demerara Harbor Bridge acceptable compensations, but targeting others who are mainly of another ethnicity.
He said that this group would be given an unacceptable compensation. He said that this minister sees only one side of Guyana in his decision-making.
Mr. Speaker, one can now see why the PPP's government is before Parliament today to use its very slim majority, a slim majority that is bolstered up by one seat that is being occupied by an unauthorized person who sits as a member of Parliament, to push down the throats of Guyanese a law to weaken the protection of Guyanese citizens.
Mr. Henry said that the indigenous peoples should have prior informed consent before any land acquisition.
We are debating a bill to amend the acquisition of lands for public purposes. This amendment seeks to make into law that the subject minister would have the power, etc., etc. All of this will be done unilaterally by the minister and by extension, the People's Progressive Party. Mr. Speaker, one must remember the Lord Acton's maxim, which states that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Mr. Speaker, this bill will affect negatively the majority of the people of Guyana. The poor and the powerless will be unable to challenge the decisions of the minister.